Hi everyone, it's Wade Scott with the Delaware Elder Law Center. As you know, we help families qualify for long-term care Medicaid in ways in which we're able to protect some of their assets, and we help them get in place their estate plans. But a lot of what we do is help families address non-legal issues, and we do that by making referrals to other service providers that can help the family out. And that's who's with me today. Today I have Craig Lytle of I&E Planning, and I have Scott Tuozzolo with me, who is with AspireWealth Planners, and they are service providers that address issues that families have. Now, I just found out that Craig has published a recent book that's entitled The Sandwich Generation, Stuck in the Middle Between Children and Elders. And so I thought it would be fun and informative to have Craig come in to talk to you about the book that he's written. So gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. It's nice to be here.
Craig, let's start with you. Tell us about your book. Who's the target market for the book, and what's the message that you're trying to get out to that target market?
Sure, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So what motivated me to write this book was after 21 years of individual conversations with people and their families, recognizing that there's conflict and compromise as people are planning for their own retirement, raising children, and dealing with health issues as their parents age.
Okay, and some of your experience is just even with your own parents, isn't it?
Yeah, very recently. Yeah, I have
Okay.
parents who were hospitalized recently, both at the same time, each for 12 days, 9 days overlapped one another. Rehabilitation that follows, interaction with Medicare. They're both currently living at Jenner's Pond near my home, and we're working on a transition to get them back into their own home and using home health and aid in the community.
Okay.
And so it's been an experience for sure.
So in your book, you talk about the fact that adult children are having to use some of the resources to help their parents out. Is that right?
It is often. It goes both ways,
Okay.
right? Resources of both time and money typically are being spent on family, meaning that adult children may have a need to help their parents, and that may mean taking time off of work or moving them into their home. So chapter 1, I use an example of a client that renovated a garage into an apartment, and there's a story around that. That individual just turned 100 on Saturday and is now living at an assisted living nursing facility and is currently receiving Medicaid through the state of Pennsylvania. There's family dynamics, of course, that go along with that. In that particular story, it was the husband's mom that was brought into their garage apartment. Unfortunately, he developed cancer and died very quickly. As a result, his widow now had her mother-in-law living in the garage, and there's a story of what happened next that was part of the learning of this experience and what that might mean to other people who have different things happen with their family as time goes on.
I think some of the things you talk about in the book are some of the estate planning issues that older adults have. That's covered there, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. Things like power of attorney, durable power of attorney, healthcare directives. Some of those conversations, all too often, families don't have those conversations until after something happens. And so we're teaching and preaching to have some of those conversations more proactively as part of a plan, an effort to save time, money, and reduce stress.
Okay. And I think you, throughout the book, you're talking about how to manage resources and how to create funds of money to pay for long-term care.
Yeah, for sure.
There's
There's
options.
several really good choices, and how to do it is very personal to individuals and their specific circumstances, but the book definitely points out a number of places of where to go to learn more. And so it's an opportunity for individuals to privately inform themselves of where to go when they're interested in knowing more. Each chapter starts with a quote, has 10 pages or fewer of content, and finishes with a checklist of items that individuals could follow or kind of self-check. I've done these things and still need to do some others, for example.
Okay. In your real life practice, when you're not writing books, and by the way, Craig is also a professor at Goldie Beacom College, Wilmington University, in financial management courses, business courses. You'll help families identify issues and then talk to them about some of the financial options for addressing them. And I'm guessing that some of those options involve insurance type products that may be able to help.
Thank you for saying that. I&E Planning is my firm. It stands for Income and Estate Planning. We do mainly income planning as people are preparing for their own retirement, and estate planning for when the time comes that we want to make sure that anything left over goes to the people and places as efficiently and optimally as possible. With the heart of a teacher, we guide through a process our clients to understand what they need to know in order to make informed decisions. And most times we can count on one hand what those choices are. I liken it to when someone goes into a restaurant, they can look at a menu and decide what's available and decide what choice best fits what they would like to order. So for example, if we're talking about planning for long-term care, we may say there are some insurance solutions available. We use to insure or not to insure. If insurance is part of the conversation, we'll discuss life insurance products and health insurance products, decide what might fit. If insurance isn't available because of health considerations, or perhaps the person's just not willing to budget expenses for insurance premium, then we may look toward home equity, or we may look to other assets that they might have available to them. Last but not least, the failure to decide often means that the default is a spend down if and when an event occurs that costs extra money. Many times that's what people do when they don't know what else to do.
Okay. And so you and Scott work together with certain clients, and is Scott one of your solution providers for some of your clients that may be helped with insurance?
Absolutely. Many times, very routinely, Scott and I work very closely together. We first met years ago while working in sales management with one of the career companies.
Yeah. So Scott, why don't you tell us about some of the solutions that your office is able to provide adult children and their parents in and around payment for long-term care?
Okay. Thanks, Wade. I think, as Craig said, there could obviously be some insurance type solutions. There is traditional long-term care. You have life insurance based products, which there are some that are more asset based, where somebody, if they have an asset, can put it into what is referred to as a linked benefit that will give them, God forbid, a death benefit if they pass away, but also potentially a substantial benefit for long-term care. You're seeing more and more traditional life insurance companies offering long-term care, or sometimes they refer to them as chronic illness riders, which allows them to accelerate the death benefit tax-free if they could not perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. And then there are certain annuity products out there that will do something similar, where again it is typically an asset that can potentially be doubled if the need were to arise, meaning a deposit amount of a certain amount of dollars. Or if it's an income-based annuity, the income could potentially be doubled again if that need were to arise, where somebody cannot perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. So in my working with Craig, that's where, if there's a scenario, he and I will work together and collaborate and work to find what is potentially the best solution for that particular situation.
Good. That's great. That's good to know. It sounds like the insurance industry's trying to be more and more flexible to address the need to find ways to pay for long-term care. Is that what you're experiencing?
Yeah, you've seen a real consolidation in how many carriers actually provide traditional long-term care. So many of them, simply because of the increase in health insurance cost year after year, just couldn't, couldn't handle those increases and be able to sufficiently support somebody if they needed the care. So because you've had such a shrinkage in that arena, the life insurance companies have realized there are other ways that we can still provide a long-term care need if it were to arise, and that's where these life and annuity products would come into play. To Craig's point, if insurance is the option.
No, that's good to know. That's good news. Well, thank the two of you all for coming in. Please take a look at Craig's book, The Sandwich Generation. There he talks about some of the issues that families are facing as they navigate the journey of managing another person's care. Scott, thank you for your insights.
Thank you.
I hope everyone found this helpful. Thank you.